Hello everybody, welcome to this indie game dev video. Before starting the video, I was asked by people on the internet where can I find the code. So the code is shared, is open source on Reveries, on the Reveries account. So github.com/Reveries, and you have the Sunset Reveries repository, and in it you have to go to the develop branch. I will only push to the main branch when I have something working. So if you want to find the code and get a sort of its history, you have to go to the develop branch. Okay, so now let's get back to our video. The goal here is to refactor everything we have done in the ECS system. I want this ECS system to exist at least in the same game, but maybe it could exist elsewhere. So I want to set it in a new class, to put it in a new class. Also, I may have to update some data in a more optimized way. So I could give you an instance. For example, when I update the sprite drawing, here what I do is I get textures and I update the transform, and in order to be able to draw the sprite at the right position. So maybe what I could do is this update of the sprite coordinate is actually something different than drawing the sprite. So maybe I should have a function to update all sprite coordinates and then have another function to draw the sprite. Same for physics. Maybe here, so when I do my physics stuff, I have to get the transform of the entity and then create a new transform position. So maybe I could do that before trying to manage collision. So I will actually do that. So updating the transform, using the transform to update the other component. So I will create a function to do that. Also, yeah, let's start with that. And yes, and then I will put all of this into another class in order to be able to use my ECS system in the scene game, but also maybe in other scenes. So let's start by this updating function. I will call this for it update component with transform. Okay. And yeah, it should be a void function like this, should be fine. So let's create this function. I'll create it here. So first, I want to update the sprite's rectangle. I'm a little slow with my keyboard because I have switched to a laptop computer, and this laptop computer has a classic French keyboard layout called AZERTY, and I'm used to the QWERTY English keyboard layout, so I will be a little slow on this laptop. Okay, so what I want to do is for every sprite, should I do that? I should actually do it for every entity, I think. Oh, but I cannot. If I do this for any entity, it would only update. Yeah, it would only update the sprite. So maybe I should do it for sprite. It won't be such a good optimization, but at least it will separate concerns. So update sprite positions. So for every sprite, I will actually take this. So do I need this? Yes, I need the texture. And I could sort the sprites by texture. It could add an optimization. I just need to do this and not update the texture. And here, when I want to draw, then I will just draw. Oh, I actually need to update the texture to draw something. Then maybe I should store the texture in the component when I create the sprite. I think it would be easier. I don't need to query the texture each time. So yes, let's do that. I will store in the sprite. I think I actually already store the name, the texture name, but maybe I should also store the texture, at least the texture reference. So yes, let's do this. So in my sprite, I will actually store texture reference, const texture reference, and I will build it, actually get it from the constructor when I create the sprite. Or I could pass it. Where do I create the sprite? I create it in scene game. Yeah, I create the sprite components. I just pass the name here. Yeah, I just pass the name, so I should create it then. So here, when I'm loading the sprite, okay, I should do something like text equal assets manager. I will need to include that, I suppose. Get texture and using the texture name. Can I do that? Oh, but it's const, so you won't. Oh, so maybe I could just use it here. Okay, so now it's good. So I directly load the texture, so I don't have to actually not loading the texture, but just get the reference. Do I need this? Actually, I can include it this way. Oh, fine. Okay, so now when I create a sprite, I load it. So I don't have to look up for it. So when I want to update this, I don't need to look up for sprite. Just need the transform. And then here, get the sprite. But actually, yeah, that's fine. So here I update all sprite position, and then I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this either. here I want to draw sprite.text. Okay, this should be good. And now I have to call this after my update has occurred. Was the update function actually? It's here. Update component data. Okay. And I think I could do the same. So first, let's check if it's working. Okay, seems to work. Fine. So now I do quite the same for update components with transform. I should do the same for the physics system, because here I'm creating, actually no, what I'm doing here, maybe for the bouncing, let's check. So here I want to create some collisions. I apply the velocity and I create a new position. Actually, here what I do is updating the transform, but I think I need this. And then I check for the collisions. And then I do my collision stuff. I think this should be, this should remain how it is. For the bouncing, I want to transform in order to create the bounce box. I could create a box in the body component, but it would allow me, if I would create a box in the body component, it would allow me to ignore this and do not get the transform component here. It would just add data into the game box. Maybe I should do this. And here I do quite the same, I think. So yeah, I'm actually changing the transform, so I need this. But this box could maybe be stored in the component. Yeah, I still need to update the transform. But yeah, I could optimize this, but I'm not sure it's that important for now. Plus, this is something that will go away. So, okay, so for now, I will let it this way. Okay, let's just put this somewhere else. And I think that's all for a small optimization. What I want is to go through all sprites and draw what needs to be drawn. Okay, so this is good. Okay, now I want all those functions to be sent to a specific class. How could I call this class? So what I want is actually have an ECS system for every scene. Why? Again, it's because my scenes can stack up, and so if I have several scenes, maybe not all scenes would have an ECS system, but maybe they could. So I want this ECS system to be in a specific class. So I think I just have to create a class for this. I could call it ECS. Or ECS manager. Let's call it ECS manager. Okay, new class. Okay. So this ECS manager will actually get everything we have in scene. It will have a public. It should have at least an update function with the delta time. Not sure I used F32 in the other one. Maybe I've used float. I will have to refactor this. So include define. And for draw. Okay. Then I need all the functions that are currently in my game class. My scene game class, sorry. So first let's just copy and paste stuff. So I need this. Actually I need all this. This is all private. So then I may need to include some classes. And also the components. I could pre-declare everything, but we'll see that later. Again, maybe optimization are not needed for now. Include vector. Using std vector. That's fine. Okay, so now let's take all classes, or actually all functions I have here. Maybe this I would need it here. Okay. So I will want to change this with ECS manager. Oh, and also I have to create a collision class. So I will actually put this in components, even if it's not a component. Okay. So here in my class I need an ECS manager. Actually it will be a unique pointer. And I will need to include an ECS manager. I don't want this, need this anymore. Yeah, and I need to include memory. Okay. Now this is good. Maybe I could use a reference. Oh, no, I'd rather not. So, yeah, I need to create my ECS manager. Make unique. And now I should use this everywhere. What's the problem here? Oh yeah, now everything needs to be public actually. This needs to be public. So yeah, this needs to be public. This could stay actually in scene game. I will change it. This needs to be public. Update entity with component. This should not be public. It's fine, and this should be public. Okay. Now. So first, let's update scene game. So in the update, I would like to call ECS update. And this should be a F32. And this should now be in the ECS update function. So let's create it. What is the problem? This should exist. Oh, it's just because I have not added ECS manager here. Okay, and same for draw actually. Yeah, I should have what is in game on the texture. Okay. And then it just draws a sprite system. Okay, so this is good. Render draw sprite. Okay, so it had to include renderer. This is fine. And yeah, now this is implemented. Actually, yeah, it should be a 32 too. And maybe here too. Yes. Okay. Doesn't change it out, but maybe it won't find it, which it would. Fine. So this is not bad. Yeah, this should actually stay in game because this is specific to this in-game parts. Load update for unload and create random bouncing entity. This is a in-game function. This is actually a private in-game function. And so now, oh yeah, I should maybe create a function get entity size and add entity. Okay, so let's create this. My ECS manager. Actually, I already have create entity. But yeah, I suppose I need, okay. I suppose, yes, create entity, directly add it. But actually I could use it. So create new ID equal ECS create entity. This will do the same. And now I will create a transform component. Create sprite components. And create the origin body component, so it should be fine. Yeah. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Oh, and I actually have to call this somewhere. Yeah. And it should not exist here anymore. Yes. Oh. Yes, I suppose something like that. It should include define. I was surprised C-Lion didn't tell me something about it. So it is effort 2, and so I suppose, yeah, I should do the same, so everywhere. Okay, seems to work. Oh, but it does not display anything anymore. Maybe I do not call the drawing part. I think I do actually. ECS manager. This is drawing. So in scene game. ECS draw, it should work. It should work. So if it's not, maybe I have not loaded the texture. Player texture. Do I need this in scene game anymore? I do not, I think. Oh, but I'm done, sorry. I know what is happening. This is a background, and if I draw the background above the foreground, then logically I only see the background. So I need to draw the ECS after the background. Yeah, now it's working. Okay, fine. This was a small refactor and a small video to do it. But yeah, I wanted to be able to use an ECS system for any kind of scene, especially when I want to draw some scene above another one. So I think it's okay, it's quite modular, it's not the best I can do, but for what I want to do now, it's not so bad. Actually, what I want to do in my game. So, seeing you in the next video, and bye!